Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel, here today for a transfer market special focused on one special player, La Joya, Paulo Dybala, and the rumours that have been flaring up about him possibly moving to Inter. So in this video today I'm going to talk about what is the truth behind these Dybala to Inter stories. Does it make sense for Dybala to come to Inter for both the player and the club? And do I think it's going to happen? So let's get into the video. Now, first of all, is there any truth to the stories? And yes, actually there is. I know it sounds like fantasy football, it sounds like one of those made up transfers that, papers usually try to use to generate clicks. And this does generate clicks. One of the best players in the league, one of the most well-known players in the world. But the truth comes from the horse's mouth, which is Don BEPPE Marotta, who has pretty much confirmed the interest of Inter unofficially. He was asked about Dybala on 2 occasions recently, and both of those times he kind of, in his roundabout way, pretty much admitted that when there is an opportunity like this, and this is a word that BEPPE Marotta likes to use a lot, the word opportunity, when it comes in the transfer market, and use this word when Inter signed Eriksen, the fact that a player like Eriksen is available at a cut price with 6 months of expiring contract. That was an opportunity that Inter couldn't let go of, and this is the exact same wording that he's using currently at the moment when it comes to Dybala. A player of the quality of Dybala, he says, being available, is normal that a club like Inter and other clubs will be interested. So pretty much confirming the interest there. The BEPPE Marotta angle is the key angle here. BEPPE Marotta is a person who's on a human level has a good relationship with Dybala. He's spoken about Dybala numerous times in the past, even before he was at Inter. Of course, he was instrumental in bringing Dybala to Juventus from Palermo for a big fee back then, when he was still just a talent. Over the years, they've maintained a good relationship, and he's admitted in the past that he tried to bring him to Inter. One of his first moves, with the whole Icardi saga was going on, there was rumours of an Icardi Dybala swaps back in the day, and I didn't believe them back then, but he's confirmed that that was actually being talked about, a Dybala Icardi swap. It didn't materialize, but so he's already tried to bring Dybala to Inter, and he's still a very big fan of the player. And of course, we know Don Beppe is a free transfer magician. He is a specialist when it comes to making free transfers, so this is perfectly in the Don Beppe realm of possibility to make this happen. On the other hand, on the Dybala angle, there is truth to it. The fact that his relationship with Juventus at the moment is quite strenuous, because a few months ago, at the beginning of the season, there was an agreement between him and Juve, a kind of handshake agreement, or unwritten, unofficial agreement, that by the end of the season, before the end of the season, he was going to renew his expiring contract for the salary of 8 million net plus 2 million in bonuses, making it 10 million net per season, making him the highest paid player at Juventus and in the Serie A, confirming his status as a player, very important player, being the captain after Bonucci as well in the Juventus squad. And that's what he wanted, and that's what he was happy to do. However, since the beginning of the season, since Allegri's come in, of course, the Juve, they're not having a great season. I'm not saying I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. He has had injury issues, even though he has been playing well. When he's played well, as he usually does, but his injury issues have been a problem. And Juventus looks like they're going to struggle to make top 4. That Champions League money, that guaranteed big income, is not going to be quite there. They've changed their tune, Juventus. Arriva Bene, the new CEO coming in, who is he's coming from the F1 world. So he's not even a football man really, but his words recently said that Dybala needs to earn the renewal, just like the other players who have expiring contracts, and he needs to understand what the number 10 on his shirt means. Comments that didn't seem to go down very well with Dybala, quite rightly. First Juve kind of turning their backs on the agreement. Now they're saying that they want to talk about the renewals in March. They want to wait until February, March to talk about renewals, which is delaying the talks even further. And those comments from Arriva Bene didn't go down well with Dybala, as you saw when he scored at the weekend, celebrating, or actually not celebrating, and just looking over to the stands. So from those angles, the move is definitely possible. There is an opening. Dybala could be open to a move, especially if Juve are betraying their agreement like this. However, of course, making the move from Juventus to Inter would be a massive betrayal to Juventus and their fans. However, Juve's apparently the final offer to him is nowhere near the 10 million net. It's around the 7.5 million, maybe 8, no bonuses. That's their take it or leave it offer to Dybala now, which is less than what he wanted. And this is where Inter can come in. How feasible is it for Inter financially? We know Inter not doing great financially, that we're in no shape to be taking on these types of players. However, the opening comes in if Alexis Sanchez leaves, who is on exactly pretty much what Dybala is earning right now. Dybala earns around about 7.3 million net at Juventus at the moment. That's pretty much what Alexis earns at Inter, 7.5 million net. If Alexis Sanchez leaves, that opens up the slot in the squad. Technically on a squad level, he is, he plays the Alexis Sanchez role, not the main striker. He's the guy behind the striker in the 3-5-2, the guy who creates, the guy who makes things happen. However, just with a left foot. And of course, on the wage side, that Dybala's wage would replace Alexis Sanchez's if Dybala accepts what Inter would be offering, which apparently is around what Juve are offering, 7.5 million net. So it doesn't look like we're not really blowing Juventus's offer out of the water, to be honest. But if it happens at those terms, it is very feasible that Alexis Sanchez out, Dybala in. Also, you got to factor in Arturo Vidal's contract expires at the end of this summer, so he's definitely leaving. Arturo Vidal has been earning, it's unsure exactly what Arturo Vidal earns, because his contract was kind of on an increasing basis. He was on 7 last season, and I believe in this season he's earning more than, he might be even actually earning 8 million net this season. But anyway, whatever he earns will be gone out of the transfer of the wage budget. So there's an opening there. Of course, we know Christian Eriksen leaving, his 7.5 million net salary isn't there. So there is a gap in the squad to make it happen. However, Inter not pushing the boat out for, the salary offer, as I said. So we'll have to see how far Inter are willing to push it. So it definitely is feasible. Now, does it make sense on a footballing level? Now, on a personal level, for me, if you ask me, Dybala is a top 5 player in the Serie A when he's not injured, which is a big caveat. As we said, his injury issues over the last few seasons have been pretty, not Stefano Sensi levels, or almost getting to the Alexis Sanchez levels. We've had issues with Sanchez's injury issues, and he's not getting any younger. Dybala, he's going to be 29. He's going to be 30 years old by next season. He's in his peak right now, but he's slowly fading out of the peak. And as I said, the injury issues are a big red flag. But in a 3-5-2, that's his position. The guy behind the main striker, creating, as we said, being the Alexis Sanchez of this Inter team. He adds that creativity, that beautiful left foot, probably the best left foot in the league. Just creates magic with that left foot, dribbling ability, creating goals out of nothing, free kick ability, adds goals, adds assists, adds that charisma, adds that level of presence off the field as well. He's got the marketability. He's one of the most followed players on social media as well. And in this Inzaghi team, this guy would be perfect. He himself, Dybala, would love to play in this team. There's no doubts about it. When you coming from this Allegri's jihadi ball, where this guy is having to suffer. He's even commented recently that this team just doesn't really once they go ahead, they don't attack anymore. They don't attack well. But this Inzaghi team, top scorers in the league, the Limoncello ball, he would thrive in this. Combining with his friend, who he had a very interesting hug with and little chat with after the Supercopa match, Lautaro Martinez. He's also good friends with Joaquin Correa, and Inter Argentine heritage. We don't need to talk about it's written in the stars. Inter's Argentine heritage. Javier Zanetti, being the vice president, also knows Dybala could be a catalyst to make the move happen and make his life very comfortable in Milan. And Milan, of course, on a practical level, isn't far from Turin. However, as I said, all these factors do make it a possible transfer. However, the salary, the issue with the salary is, yeah, Inter could probably afford that because of the wage space opening up. But Suning have already said, you know, they are trying to, they're going a different path now, and this is not Inter 2 or 3 years ago when we're spending a lot of money. They want to try to reduce the budget, the wages especially. So that's why I see this. I don't really see this happening. Unlike Sanchez and Vidal, Dybala wouldn't benefit from the growth degree tax savings that Inter benefit from because they were coming from abroad, whereas Dybala is, you know, playing in Italy, coming from another Italian team. His salary, his full gross salary would cost us, you know, if he would accept, let's say 8 million, that would be 16 million gross salary. And you multiply that by, you know, would it be 3 years, 4 years, you know, this is, you're talking about 40, 50, 60 million investment that you're talking about with Inter. And at the end of the day, from what we understand, from what I understand, what journalists are talking about, you know, Dybala's preference is to stay at Juventus. And I think in the end, you know, Juventus, they'll just push the boat out a little bit more, because as I said, if what I'm reading, the offer about Inter, you know, we're not particularly blowing Juventus out of the water at the moment. We're matching Juventus's offer. So if he chooses us, it would be on a sporting level, where obviously Inter right now are looking much better than Juventus. That's why I just don't see the move happening. The doubts over his physical, you know, fitness as well, don't make it, you know, a surefire hit, I think, within the Inter leadership. But it's super interesting. It's very exciting to be linked with such a high profile player. And yeah, I'm not, you know, particularly positive about Inter's financial capabilities at the moment over this last year or so and going forward until we are under Suning control. But don't count Inter out. You know, Paulo Dybala, as I said, I'm excited. I don't see it happening though. That's my view on it. You guys let me know what you guys think of this whole thing. Do you want it to happen? And do you think it can happen? And does it make sense? That, you know, how do you see Dybala in this team in Limonebo? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new to the channel for more Inter Serie A content. I'm Uncle Sharma. See you on the next one. Ciao ragazzi. Forza Inter.